Hi guys, so I hope you all are doing good. So today we will be recording a very special episode. Favorite guest on the show, her name is Ayushi Singh. So Ayushi is, into a lot of things, right? So she is a writer, she is an author, she is a vocalist also, and she has recently started her own venture around IT consulting in future edge technologies. So very interesting podcast we have recorded today. Trust me, it's one of the best podcasts I've recorded so far. We have talked about entrepreneurship, we have talked about love life, we have talked about concept of marriage, we have talked about emotional well-being, we have talked about schizophrenia, we have talked about importance of having a calm mindset, right? So we have talked about all these things and many more. So trust me, I enjoyed a lot recording this podcast, and I hope whatever we have talked about, we'll be able to imbibe all those things in life and let magic happens in your life. So guys, watch this episode till the very end, and thank you so much. Hey Ayushi, hi, how are you?
Hi, Atishay. I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. And I hope you are doing good too.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for doing this. You are one of the person, as I were also introducing you in the beginning. You are one of that person which with whom I can talk about so many things. We can record multiple podcasts on so many things. You are full of knowledge. You're full of motivation and inspiration.
Well, honestly, I reflect the feelings you have because I have the same feelings here. I love to talk to you because you can dig in deep and ask so many questions which most of the interviews don't ask. So thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm really excited to start the interview, or you can say the podcast.
I am so charged up today. So when I wake up in the morning today, I was so charged up that I will be talking to Ayushi. I will be learning about her life. I will be talking to her about her life experiences. So I was so charged up, right? So awesome. I really look forward to the discussion. So Ayushi, why not you introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, this is one of the toughest questions because, you know, I don't give myself a name. In short, I call myself as an artist who is still exploring uh, career as well as art. And by career, I mean professional journey, and by art, I mean something related to creativity. So I'm a person who is involved in human psychology, literature, and technology. These three industries define me. I'm an author, public speaker, entrepreneur, and also, you can say, explorer. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So how are you able to manage so many things? I know you have just started your own venture. So apart from just, running a business is itself a headache, right? It itself is a lot of work. But apart from just managing your own business, I know you'd like to travel a lot. You're a writer yourself. As you mentioned, you are an explorer. You're also a very good vocalist, I would say. So how are you able to manage so many things, juggle so many things?
Well, I would say that every day I think that I have 24 points, that is 24 hours, and I have to use these 24 points fruitfully each day. So I make sure that I balance my life in a way that I can explore every aspect of it. Yes, at times I seem very busy for my friends and my relatives, but this is how life is. And I think that in my life I'm at the highest point of energy level where I can explore, where I can take risk. So I don't want to waste it, and my friends and family understand that very well. And I consume these 24 points, that is 24 hours, in a smart and wise way. This is the reason.
So Ayushi, as you are juggling so many things, so have you ever wondered that maybe you're not giving that much amount of time to your family, or you are so much consumed in your work? So have you ever have that guilt?
Uh, Honestly, not much right now. But yes, at times when there are priorities and there are responsibilities. I'm stuck. So at that time, I had to think intuitively and, of course, with emotions as well to take a right decision. But if you call it a guilt, it's a very heavy word for now because, touch wood, I have not faced any situation where it was very important for me to be with work or with family. So yeah, but I think it's important to balance things. For now, I'm still figuring out, but I'll come to the point soon, I'm sure.
Awesome, awesome. So now let's shift gears and talk about your new ventures. So why don't you tell audience about your new venture? What motivated you to start this, and what problem statement you are trying to solve through this startup?
Okay. So my company, that is a Stenure, which is with its headquarter in Ontario, that is Canada, it has been already in the verge of, on the phase of uh, operation, you can say, or it was already in motion since the year 2018. We were the team of 4 people. We were working from different cities and states. At that time, I was not thinking to build up an organization because I know it's a big, big deal of work and responsibility. So I started with few clients, and then I thought to give it a name and officiate it on paper. So it became official on 2021 November. The, the work that my company does is majorly into consulting for now. We are consulting firms uh, on business strategies, strategic execution, and apart from that, AI consultation. So there, this AI consultation word is very, new in the market right now. There are many people who understand what AI is, but they don't know whether their organization need this aspect right now in their business or not. So people tend to invest more, and the result is not that good. So the return of investment is not that good. We understand the business, we understand the company, their strategy, their journey, and then we figure out when and how AI can help them grow. So this is what our company does. It's into AI consultation right now, but gradually in like 3 to 4 years, we are going to turn into a product company.
Awesome. So, AI is the talk of the town these days. Every company, some other way, wants to adopt machine learning, AI. So, what are your thoughts about AI? How's AI gonna shape our future? And also, a second question to this: what are your thoughts around metaverse? Right. So, are gonna be in metaverse, which Zuckerberg is creating? So, what are your thoughts around it? So, it's a two-part question. So, yeah.
So the answer to this question is about AI. We both deal in technology, and we understand that this AI is a very fancy word for many people who have just entered this technology world. But honestly, Atisha, if you survey, there are many industries, companies that don't exactly understand what AI is. We are dealing into consultation, and when we talk to business leaders, they are not very clear about how AI can improve their process and speed up their business.
Hmm.
So especially in our country, for the new technology organization, I would I would say that there is a huge gap in execution and planning. People and business leader need to understand first what AI, machine learning, and data mining, how these things can actually help their business. It's not that it's in the competition, and if the competitors are implementing it, they should too. But first, they should understand if it can actually help them grow. And about metaverse, yes, metaverse is also one of the another fancy word, but I'll not say a word only. It is a whole new world, right? And it can be implemented not only in gaming or uh, in business world, but also in education too. So right now I am getting many articles and many uh, que- uh, you know uh, questions from the business leaders regarding how metaverse can help their organization. But it's right now, it's in a nascent phase.
Hmm.
Okay, it's very good on paper right now, but maybe it will take years for it to be actually live. So my views on both the things is same. You have to first understand and then strategically execute it, implement it in organizations.
Hmm. So, Ayushi, have you seen that movie Ready Player One by Stephen, Spielberg? It's on Netflix. That movie is
Okay.
all about metaverse. You know how our lives are gonna be in metaverse. The one which Mark Zuckerberg is creating. So we will be
Hmm.
having our personalities loaded on metaverse instead of we meeting physically to people in cafes and parks. We will be meeting people digitally, so everyone is having their own persona, digital persona, and we will be doing all type of shit on the metaverse, right? Even we will be owning real estate on metaverse. So that is something I believe technology enthusiasts are building, that you don't have to even go to a cafe to meet someone or bar to meet someone. You can meet everyone virtually now. So till now, whatever connections we are having virtually, they're just one, they're not experience wise, they're not that much good, right? You can chat to people, you can see people now by audio call, but you can't have those experiences, right? Those adrenaline rush, dopamine rush that you get when you're meeting someone physically, right? So that is, I believe, a way that technology is also emerging,
Exactly.
that
Totally
we
agree.
can all live in a virtual world. So we will be having two worlds now, one physical world and one virtual world. So that is really amazing. You should see that movie. It's a mind-blowing movie, right?
Well, there is another company that has recently launched their app. I'm forgetting their name, and it's related to the virtual office that they have built up. So if we both are colleagues, we can meet in a virtual cafe. We can talk there. We can discuss our business ideas. We can move ahead, and we can move shift to the different room. So it's another, just a simple concept of metaverse, but it looks like a video game right now. As I told you, it's very it's in the first stage of building. Metaverse is still on papers, but not yet on implementation. So yes, companies are trying to pace up and create content, to create application software on metaverse. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are a very avid reader, and psychology is something which really interests you. So, when this metaverse world will be implemented, everything will be virtual. So, what do you think from a psychological standpoint will be the implications of this, right, on the mind?
Well, honestly, I'm not much in the favor if I talk from the prospect of a psychologist. Uh, as a technology person, well, I'll definitely support. You cannot count me to have a two personality trait, but yes, from the psychological part of thinking point of view, I would not recommend so much virtual world capturing human mind, because uh, our sense organs are very important for us to feel the aura, to connect with the spiritual world. Too much virtual, living in too much virtual world and creating this type of environment will definitely increase anxiety issues in human beings. Okay, they will tend to think so much faster, which they should not. They'll not be able to relax. Their subconscious mind will always be in a proactive state, which again in medical world is not good. We will turn into machine. I mean, not exactly into machine, but we will try to be perfectionist in a thought process, in a social life, in physical life. Maybe it will affect our personal relationship with our family and friends too.
I'm on the same thought. I believe too much of virtual stimulation will, increase anxiety, increase social anxiety rather. It will increase depression,
Right.
So I'm also in the same favor. Yeah, it could be limited to some extent, but it should not be the, soul life of a person, right? We should
But
always move out.
I'm really scared. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm even scared. We are Gen Z, right? Even so, if we are scared, imagine, people that will grow in the metaverse area, a decade after this. So, what kind of, psychological issues they will be dealing with? They will deal with a lot of shit. So, this is what I believe.
Definitely. Yes, obviously. This is very much obvious, and it is going to happen for sure. There will be new neurological issues, psychological issues that will arise. And don't forget the, not only mental aspect, but on the physical aspect too. People will not be able to feel and touch and, you know, meet people in real. So if you remember, many things changes with mutation, right? We were, it is believed that we are the descendants of apes
Right.
who had tails and everything. But when the tail was not required in our, lifestyle, gradually that particular body part vanished from our body. Similarly, when we will connect ourselves to the virtual world, when we don't when we prefer not to move around, when we prefer not to connect with people, there might be some physical changes in our bodies too. So it's not just about psychological mental, it's also about, you know our physical being too.
I mean, totally. This reminds me of an extract from the book Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Have you read that book?
Yes, yes,
I'm a
yes,
big
yes.
Yuval Harari fan. So, in the book, he mentioned that the reason why humans are dominating on the planet now is we tend to live in harmony. We tend to live in, social circles, right? So that is the reason, we are still, in existence, and a lot of other species have died or are extinct because we are social creatures, right? We like to, engage. We like to, live in a society. We like to live, amongst people. So you're totally right. And metaverse, some of the other way will not be able to suffice this, right? Though we will be in a virtual world, but we will be not feeling that human connection. Also, I was, listening to a podcast from a person who does a lot of research about ancient world. So, what happens in ancient world was the way of communication. So they used to send telegrams, right? They were sending telegrams, piece of letter to communicate. So if someone, is sending a letter to, let's say, her wife or her girlfriend, so what they used to do was they used to put a scent, right, a spray of scent in the letter. So when the lady opens the
Yes,
letter, or when
yes,
the
yes.
husband opens the letter, so by the aroma, they have that, stimulation in the mind. They will remember good memories about
Reminding,
the,
yes.
yeah, they will have good, memories about the partner, that, they will relive those moments, right? So that was a kind of stimulation, that used to happen when we're, using telegram or letters as a way of communication. But now we are using cell phones. We are, going back to the same modes of communication, but very differently, right? We started using text as a, way of communication. Now we are also using text, but that doesn't have any stimulation, right? We're just sending it virtually. So what are your thoughts around it?
Well, I will add a point here. One of my friends is a relationship expert also, and she used to say similar things, and she used to relate to similar incident as you mentioned, or why relationship don't last these days in our generation, be it marriage, be it an affair or anything. The reason is people are not able to connect themselves from heart. Okay, and by heart I'm trying to say they don't have any memories, and they are so fast that they don't tend to pause, reflect, and then think about any relationship and their loss. Okay, so if for example I'm in a relationship currently, I will I will get fidget, or I will be too rigid to accept any change, and I might break a relationship, and I will prefer to move on. Okay. In our earlier days, talking about our parents, grandparents, they were kind of very much committed. The reason was, the example is the scent that you said. Okay. They can feel that aroma, they can connect to the memories, they, in their back of their head, they can connect with to the emotions, which nowadays is lacking. And unfortunately, this metaverse may lead to something worse than this. Okay.
Mm.
So we have to understand that we are humans, we are not machines. It's okay to speed up in career, in work, in life, improve your lifestyle. But if we touch that, if we forget that human touch in ourselves, then not only our existence is in danger, but everything that is around us that we call life is in danger. Because if emotions are lost, we will be the reason for our own extinction, along with all the flora and fauna that is dependent on us. So yes.
Totally, absolutely. Now, I just want to switch gears now and talk about your recent encounter with Karan Bedi ji. So, I could come across a video which you have posted that you recently met Karan Bedi ji, and she's a huge inspiration to all of us, not even women. She's also inspiration for youngsters of all generations, right? So, how she has overcome all the obstacles and become the first IPS officer, women IPS officer of India. So, how was your experience meeting Kiranji, and what was the vibe, when you first entered the room where Kiranji was sitting? So what kind of energy you got from her?
Well, the best part was I was invited to her home. I'm working with her sister, the U.S. Attorney Anupeshwarya ji. She's another iron woman. Although she is 12 years younger to Kiran Bedi ji, she's no less than her. So we are friends, and I got an opportunity to meet her as well. The moment she entered the room, believe me, if you know Lord Buddha, the chakra in the back of the head, I felt the same thing. I felt that she's a goddess, a very powerful goddess. And I touched her feet and I said that, ma'am, I don't have any words for you. I'm really fortunate to meet you. And she was like, I'm really fortunate to meet young women like you who are trying to do something in life. And I was like, oh my God, she's so much down to earth. She's so beautiful. She's so, powerful even today, that every word that she was saying, the words she was emphasizing, they were music to my ears. So it was, a blessing for me, I would rather say, to meet her in person, not just because she's a famous person, but I got to connect with her vibes. I got to learn from her, and it's very much it's one of the biggest blessing in 2022 till now.
So what were the things you talked about?
I we discussed about many things related to women empowering and how women should deal with problems that they are facing these days. Her statements were, what problems are you facing these days? I said nothing. Then she said, then why are you complaining? So I was like, wow. She's so positive. And she said that go and listen to the people, to the women who are deprived, and then we can talk about it. So we were talking about not only just women issues, we were also talking about, certain exploitations and issues that women are facing in their marriages. So the conversation was more or less towards, uh, you know, women empowerment, their relationships, their exploitation, they suppress, they are being suppressed. So we were talking about that. Apart from that, there were discussion related to immigration factors, and there were issues related to how our country is not focusing much on education these days, women education these days. Uh, Rather than we are thinking to grow and earn money so fast that we are not focusing much on our foundation. So
Hmm.
she was explaining that education, learning, experiences are really very important, not only for women, also for men, for children to grow in life, which somewhere or the other we are taking very lightly.
Hmm.
Though there are many educational institutes, but they are not teaching them basic life skills, which is very important to survive in life. Okay.
Hmm.
So
So,
the conversation was around 1 hour, 40 minutes. It was long.
hmm.
So there were many things that we talked about. She asked about me, what I'm doing, what I'm planning to do. And yeah, this was it.
Awesome. So you mentioned about education. So you also talked about not just women education, also educating men. I totally believe, right? The reason we are, still a backward country, we are, projected as a backward country is because the men are not educated, and when man is educated, they know the power of education, they know how education can change lives, and they know irrespective of the gender, everyone should have a right to education. So what one thing I personally feel,
Very well.
what lockdown has done, in last 2 years is, it has opened up a lot of shit about emotional health, right? Especially men's emotional health. When I was growing up, we were taught, मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, or men should not cry, right? Movies में इस तरह से प्रोजेक्ट किया जाता था that, if you are crying, you are a girl, you should not cry, boys don't cry, men don't cry, right? But that thing is changing now, right? The world is changing, around. It's okay to cry, right? You should let your emotions out. You should, have a good cry. You should express your emotions. So what are your thoughts about emotional health and why it's important?
The biggest myth, मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, को
Hmm.
औरत से ज्यादा दर्द होता है. They
Right.
are hell more emotional than women, and it's very difficult for them to move on. uh, I'm not just talking about relationships, I'm talking about health and everything.
Hmm.
The factor that we perceive that men are emotional is they are not expressive. They will
Hmm.
not cry frequently. They will not speak out their pain frequently. But yes, they are far more emotional as compared to women. So first of all, we should break this stereotype. We should, come out of this myth that men are not emotional. Men are hell emotional more than women. Again, I'll repeat. And second thing, uh, yes, there were many factors and there were many discussions going on emotional health and everything. So I understand this scenario very well because I came across many men and women, my friends, my juniors, who were facing this situation during lockdown. So yeah, it's very important for them to get a counseling session. They have to understand what they are feeling. They have to understand how to deal with a particular situation, because getting depressed is very much common these days, and it's not that you cannot get out of it. All right. So yeah, emotional health is also very important. Uh, that's it. I would say that don't take it lightly. You should take of it. Yeah.
As an author, I know you have a very good observation
I hope I
skills.
was able to answer.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was mentioning
Mhm.
about, you being an author and, you having good observational skills. So authors generally have very good observational skills, right? They observe people a lot. They're really, really empathetic, right? Because when they're writing, their stories, when they're writing books, because they have to, own all those feelings together on a piece of paper in a book. So when you're writing book and when you finish writing book, so what is the mind shift you have, right? Because when you're writing book, you're filled with a lot of emotions, right? It could be anger, it could be, humor, it could be hell lot of emotions. So, but when you finish the book, when the book is done, so what is the change you feel in yourself?
First of all, I never write. with the intention to write.
Hmm.
Okay. Whenever I'm at the highest point of emotions and I think that I should express it out, I write. I don't know if it's going to convert into a book or an article or anything, or maybe nothing. So I never have an intention to write as such.
Hmm.
But whenever I am expressing myself on paper, I make sure that those feelings are very much unbiased and I'm free of mind. I'm not engaged with anything, or I don't have any errands to run.
Hmm.
And there is no pressure for me to write, because then only I can write impartially. Then only I can write, choose the best words and give justice to what I'm writing. When
Hmm.
I finish the book, I read again, and then I understand and I connect the dots to from the situation I started and to the situation I ended. And then I think, yes, this is a piece that should come out in the world. It is going to help them. So my parents both are professors. I come from an education family, where the profession of everyone, almost everyone, there are very few engineers and doctors, but almost everyone are professors, teachers. So I used to say this most frequently, that there are more books in my family than bricks. Okay. So uh, I write with an intention to educate people, and I can only educate them when I am at the position of a teacher, and when I have experienced that particular scenario, theme, or subject thoroughly. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
that is my intention to write.
yeah, so you mentioned your mom and dad were both professors. So how was your childhood like? So was it very disciplined, right? You have to read, you have to write, you have to top the class, you have to be a very good student. So how was your childhood like? I would love to know that.
Okay. Well, it's very tough to be the daughter of professors. You have to wake up at 5, you have to follow the routine. And even today, I'm doing that. But then I realized that I'm blessed. Okay. Uh, I mean, being in discipline is very much important. And then I came to that realization today at this age of my life. Second thing, yes, they were both physics and mathematics professors. They expected me a lot to score good, but there was no pressure as such. Their friends used to expect a lot. So there were many visitors in our family, their friends, their relatives, who used to frequently ask me some questions, some equations. So when I just entered the home, or from my with my from the playground or from school, they just used to say, Ayushi, grab a pen and paper and solve this particular equation. So that was, believe me, very horrifying. Because for a young child,
Right.
it's very difficult for them to prove themselves always. And if there is someone who is always expecting a correct answer from them, in that pressure they make mistakes. So this is an irony. I was a horrible student in my school days. The reason was uh, the relatives and the friends of my parents that expected a lot from me. Then I got a good counseling session from my mother, who said that it's not important for you to excel always. You first have to understand what you want in life. So I told her that I'm more inclined towards literature. She was very happy, though a little sad that we have the same genes and still you are not too much into mathematics. But that's fine. She said that if literature makes you happy, go ahead and pursue it. So this was my lifestyle. This was my childhood. Very disciplined even today. We have to talk politely. We cannot shout. We have to choose our words wisely. We cannot use rough language in our family. But that then somewhere or the other, I think it's a blessing. It's inculcated in me from the very childhood. Yeah.
Hmm. Ayushi, can you ask you a deep question if you don't mind?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you, when you were growing
Hello.
up, have you ever dealt with anxiety issues, depression issues? Because, a lot of teenagers, especially girls, they have a lot of, complex issues. There are a lot of anxiety, a lot of social anxiety. So have you ever come across those feelings, affairs, how you overcome those? Because I believe this will be a learning, this will be, a good lesson for all those, young generation who's watching this, people maybe under 18 years who's watching this, that it's okay to have anxious thoughts, it's okay to have, some kind of anxiety, fears. So how how one should overcome them. So yeah.
Okay. So it was not just anxiety.
Hmm.
I was a schizophrenic patient, and there was no way to, detect that. It's
Hmm.
also mentioned in my book, Child of True Lovers, that has been recently published. Uh, at the age of 8, I started seeing hallucinations and feeling, too much pressure around me when there was no pressure. And there was a communication gap between me and my parents. I often prefer not to talk to them, not because I was scared of them, but they were busy in their life. And I thought that everything is fine. But I started imagining things. There were a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of, negative vibes that I was feeling at that age. At the age of 13, that problem, it was resonated a lot in me, and I was not able to study properly, because it is said that if you are schizophrenic patient, you should get a good counseling from a doctor or someone who is an expert in this. But we were not able to trap exactly what was my problem. My parents thought it was just a typical anxiety issues that usually all the teenagers face, but no, it was more than that. uh, the only solution that I got after some time was a good counseling. Believe me, I have consumed so many medicines. I have been the routine checkups, regular medication, but nothing worked. One of the doctors who said that you have to accept who you are, what you have to accept the problems that you are going to face, you might have, you are currently facing, and then you will get the solution by yourself. I was in the hospital. It was very difficult for me to understand what he's trying to say. I was only 13, 14 years of age. And uh, then a good counseling session with good nutrition helped me to cope up. And today I'm fit and fine and perfectly good, doing perfectly good. He's just said one thing: you have to use your brain in a very smart way. You cannot allow your brain to conquer you, your body, your lifestyle. And you can only do that if you indulge yourself in productive activities. So I'm coming back to your first question. Uh, okay, I'm coming back to your first question. I'm sorry, there was a call. And the first question was, Ayushi, how you deal with so many things together in life? The reason is, a doctor suggested me to use your time productively, to to engage your mind in something that can help you grow. Okay, so this is how I coped up, this is how I overcome the problems. So all the
Wow.
youths watching this, I can say that your problem is nothing. Believe me, it's just a phase of life. You are going to overcome this for sure.
Wow, this is so deep. I can't even really imagine, what shit you must have gone through. And such an inspiration, right? You're such an inspiration to all of us that you can totally turn your life around. And you are so positive. Trust me when I speak to you, you have those positive vibes, right? Positive energy, which coming from you. Though we are talking virtually, but I can feel those positive, energy around me when I'm speaking with you. So yeah, amazing, amazing the way you
Awesome.
have turned around your life. That is totally awesome. Now let's talk about positive things. So let's talk about the fun side of you. So what are the things you do for fun, right? When you're not working. So what are your things which relax your mind, which calms you up?
I'm a I'm a very spontaneous person, believe me. I prefer to do those things that I have not done ever. So don't believe in routine as such. So if I'm free, I'll grab my bag, my headphone, I'll go out, and then I'll think, maybe on the railway station or on the bus station, which train or which bus should I board on and go for a solo trip. So I'm a very free spirited person. I believe that anything if planned may not may not give you as much, you know, uh, fun as you
Hmm.
can do things spontaneously, right? So when I'm free and I have less time, I would rather uh, grab a cup of coffee and watch a good inspirational movie or happy movie, comedy movie. But honestly, these days I prefer not to,
Hmm.
because we are already too much into this gadgets and laptop things, that I prefer not to. I prefer to stay away from all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
Ayushi, I
was
want
it?
to ask you, what is the most spontaneous thing you've ever done in your life?
Okay. The most spontaneous thing I have ever done in my life is on the 31st of January. Sorry, 31st of December. That was a New Year Eve. I was feeling, very high on energy. So I thought to go on a trip with my friends to Leh and Ladakh. It was a very, very chilly winter. None of my friends agreed because they had their own plans. So one of my brothers, my aunt's son, I asked him. We both, he's a solo traveler. Usually, we have not told our families anything, and he grabbed the bike. We wore our leather jackets and we went out on the trip. Where we went, we don't know, but after some time, we realized that we have reached somewhere near Himachal, and it was very cold. And he is my mother's sister's son, so my Masi's son, my brother, and we got a good thrashing on 1st of January 2018. But we both are, like-minded. People call us twins. So this was the most happening and most dangerous thing that we have done on 31st of December, which is like the most happening year of the time of the year, and we should not take so much risk. Already it was very cold at that time. We should have told our parents. We didn't, and yeah, we were caught by many police officers on the way, because people often used to get drunk and drive. So yeah, it was a bit tricky, but fine. It was fine. It was a good story to tell to everyone.
It is indeed a
Otherwise,
good
yeah,
story.
everything
I
was
would I would
good.
love to try something spontaneous like this. But yeah, a really good story, must say. So Ayusha, as I mentioned, we can go on for hours, but at some point we have to end this podcast. People don't have that much of attention span to consume content for more than 1 hour. So I'm down to my last two questions. The second last question which I want to ask you is: are you into meditation, any sort of meditation or yoga? If yes, what kind of meditation or yoga do you do?
Okay, as a schizophrenic patient, it was very difficult for me to pursue my meditation in the beginning days when I was recovering, because I used to hear voices and see images which were not existence. So gradually, I started, spending time with myself in nature or at some peaceful place, introspecting, and that
Hmm.
introspection helped me to, calm myself down, understand my powers and weaknesses, and then gradually I started this practicing. I started this meditation practicing. In this, I just sit down. I I just observe, my environment, listen to the music of the nature. Nothing is specific. And recently, I've started Surya Namaskar. I've learned from my sister the yoga positions. So yes, I think it's very essential for everyone to understand the importance of meditation. I started late because of my, psychological conditions, but I am pursuing it now, slowly, but yes, I'm doing so.
Awesome. I'm down to my last question now. So I know you are a very aspirational lady. You're full of motivation. You are a hustler. So what are your future plans? What do you want to achieve? Let's say in next 2-3 years, career wise, personal life wise. So what do you want to achieve?
Well, again, I would like to say that I don't set a benchmark because at times you don't know what you want. You get what you didn't expect it. But yes, as a strategic thinker too, I would like to see my company grow because we are into consulting, and more than chunking money from the clients, we prefer to educate them. And this is the idea, because it makes me feel sad that there are many organizations that are starting, that are getting registered, but they don't know where their business might end up, or their business might grow, because starting a business is somewhere very much similar to risking your life. Okay, because you are putting in all your efforts, education, money, you know and time as well. So if you ask me career wise, then I would say that I would of course try to help as many companies as I can. And in the personal life, I would like to say that as I grow older, I would like to stay in the same state of energy that I have right now, and same state of sorted mind and peaceful heart that I have right now. So this is the goal of my life right now. And about wealth, prosperity, fame, it's all very subjective topic.
Hmm.
uh, there's never enough money in your bank account, howsoever you earn, how much you earn. Right. The world is too big to be known to everyone. So I don't count these factors as my benchmarks to achieve. And yeah, just a peaceful, happy life is what I aspire for now.
One question I want to add on the top of this. So we both are in late 20s, and late 20s, when you're in late 20s, we get a lot of pressure from our parents, from family to settle. Do you also get that pressure, if yes? Well, what are your plans to settle down?
uh, I don't know. Well, I have asked my parents not to worry, because marriage is an option for me. I would love to get married. Honestly, no one wants to die alone. But
Hmm.
just we have to get married. I don't want to get married. Okay. So I'm just waiting. I believe in, I told you, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in divine timing. And yeah, I'm waiting for that. If it is in my life, it will happen. If not, then also it's fine. So I
Hmm.
have asked my parents, or I would rather say requested my parents, not to take societal pressure. And if they want me to be happy, just wait for the right time. Maybe things will turn in their favor. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. We sign off, Ayushi. So any parting words you have for the audience, especially Gen Z, who are watching this?
Okay. Hi, Gen Z, that you people are watching us, you are listening to us. Thank you for your patience, because I know it's not possible for for many of us to be that patient to listen to others. First of all, we have all gone through this COVID phase. So don't count your age, your life in numbers anymore. But at the same time, don't strive so hard in your life that you lose the peace of your mind. Okay. So if you want to live happily, live now. It's okay to have less money, but it's very important to have a sorted mind and a peaceful heart, which I prefer the most in my life. Okay. There are many people giving advice all around you, but you are very much smart enough to understand and choose the best for yourself. Yeah.
Awesome. Ayushi, before we close this, can I give you one feedback?
Certainly.
Yeah, so
Please go ahead.
you are one person, who is full of optimism, who have so many positive vibes. I have mentioned this a couple of times now in the podcast. While talking to you, I'm getting so good vibes, right? So you are that person who can generate, who can transform the aura of the room with your presence. So that is really cool. Yeah, and there's a word which I'm using a lot nowadays, thera, right? So I can sense that calm in you also, that you're a very calm person in general. So yeah, so that are very good qualities, and wish you all the very best, I wish in your all future endeavors. And thank you so much for joining me.
You know what? So, Adisha, thank you for so much appreciation. I'm going to take I'm going to crop this part of video and save it for lifetime. Whenever I'm demotivated, I'm going to, go through it again. So, thank you so much for your appreciation. It means a lot to me, more than words. Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure is all mine. Whenever I feel demotivated in my life, I'm gonna listen to this podcast again and again to feel energized, to feel. So thank you so much for making my
Feel
day.
free to call me. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. Whenever I'm feeling sad, whenever I'm feeling lonely, I will definitely call you to, get motivated. Thank you so much, for making my day. I feel so energized right now, after talking to you. Thank you so much. And I'm pretty sure the audience will feel the same when when they watch this. Thank you so much, Ayushi. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
guys,
much,
for
Adisha.
thank you so much, guys, for watching this. And I will be back with another exciting episode. Thank you so much.